Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Unraveling the Knots, the podcast where we dive deep into the good, the fascinating, and the complexities of Afro-textured hair. I'm your host, Ganiat Salami, a beautypreneur and a natural hair enthusiast. If this is your first time here, welcome, and thank you for listening. Be sure to subscribe and share our podcast. Let your people tap into the vibes here. And to my returning listeners, you guys are the real ones. Thanks again for tuning in. I appreciate it. Natural hair has never been just hair. It has always been tied to identity, survival, access, and even psychological safety. And depending on when you grow up, your relationship with natural hair was or will be shaped very differently. So today, I wanted us to discuss how different generations understand and see natural hair, what it meant before, what it means today, and what we think it's becoming, especially as things like convenience, beauty trends, and lifestyle keeps shifting. And I'm not discussing it alone. I'm here with one of my team members. She's the brand strategist for Eidara, and I thought it would be really nice to have her with me as we both unpack today's gist. So, over to you, Feromi. Can you please introduce yourself to our listeners?
Hi, everyone. My name is Feromi, and like Ania said, I am a brand strategist at or with Eidara. But beyond work, I'm really just somebody who has had a very complicated relationship with my hair. I've been natural, texturized my hair a couple times. I've been tired of my hair. I've loved it. I've ignored it. And now I'm learning to, love my hair, embrace it, just make it beautiful. So this conversation, it feels very, very close to home. I'm glad to be here, Kania. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. I'm so happy to have you, and welcome, Feromi, once again. As I said, it is wonderful to have you here, and I hope you're ready to just cause me. I'm ready. Okay, then. That's great. So, when we talk about natural hair today, especially online and what social media shows us, it can all feel very utopian, like we figured it out. But then when you zoom out and think across generations, you can see varying sentiments. Firstly, what was the general perception of natural hair in, say, our parents' time, people Gen X or even older? Did they see it as something to be proud of, or was it more about straightening and relaxing to look proper? Feromi, would you like to go first?
Yeah. Honestly, for our parents' generation, I don't think natural hair was about pride, right? I think it was more about looking presentable. It was more about looking like somebody that would not, be embarrassed that their hair looks like what I don't know, right? Straight hair was seen as more like neat, it was more responsible, your hair is laid, everything. So yeah, I don't think that it was about pride for them. It was straight hair was just easier. It looked like you put effort, in putting your hair together and looking presentable. Now for them, I don't think natural hair was that bad, but it was seen as something temporary, something like, let's just manage it until we are able to relax it. Or when I'm ready to relax it, I'm going to relax it, or keep it very low or something like that. So pride, I don't think it was really part of the conversation then. It was more, let's just groom it a little until we're able to, straighten, relax, things like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I so agree with you, Feromi. I feel like Gen X, our parents, people older, they had to prioritize assimilation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I can't really blame them. They were in a world whereby you had to follow Eurocentric standards when it came to beauty. So they often felt like natural hair was messy, it was something that was unprofessional. And I completely agree with you. Like straightening your hair was always the way to go. If you worked in a company, right, you expected for your hair to look neat and proper. And, survival, man, survival. If you didn't relax your hair, if they didn't feel like you met expectations in terms of
Yeah.
what a professional person is supposed to look like, how you're supposed to grow within the company, or how people actually supposed to respect you.
Mm-hmm. So again, yeah, for people who grew up when natural hair wasn't celebrated, what did hair represent for them? Do you think natural hair was ever really a choice then?
So I think in terms of our parents' generation and older generations, natural hair, I would probably say natural hair was very political. It's still political now, but their own level of politicizing natural hair was just it was something else. And when I think about all the movies that I've watched, all the books that I've read, all the things that I've researched, natural hair symbolized nonconformity, which I feel was very powerful. So it wasn't really a preference, as we said before. People didn't have a choice. If you wanted to be in the workplace, if you wanted to go to schools, there were rules. And natural hair was not considered to be the ideal choice. And unfortunately, it usually came with consequences from a professional social perspective. Fermi, do you agree with that? Or what has been your observation about people that grew up when natural hair wasn't celebrated?
I would say that natural hair, I don't think it was a choice. I don't think for them that it was a choice. I don't think it was something that they sat down and chose. I think it was something that, I mean, if everybody around you is doing the same thing, if schools and workplaces expect a certain look, then you don't really need to stop and think about options. You just do what you're expected to do and all that. I
Yeah.
don't think there was a choice. You, like you said, you want to survive. You just want to, in the office, you want to not be the one that is, what's that word now? Maybe that flouts others, or you don't want to stand out too much for the bad reasons and all that. You don't want to be the one that people look down on. You just want to do what you want to do and let everybody be okay. So I don't think it was a choice. I think it was, this is what we do here, and then you have to just do it. I think, yeah. So for me, I think that's it.
Yeah, I completely agree. So let's throw back a minute. So remember school.
Yeah.
In school, you had rules and expectations on natural hair. I went to boarding school in Nigeria. Did you?
Well, I schooled in Nigeria, but it wasn't a boarding school.
Okay, so me, I went to boarding school. And we couldn't wear afros when I was growing up. And even the hairstyles were kind of restricted, right? And I understood the reason why they did that. It was necessary for us to keep our hair very neat. At the same time, there was usually the expectation that you would cut your hair really low. I went to a boarding school that for the first 3 years, you expected to cut your hair low. Simple. Like there was no debating. And if you didn't embrace that, you should not show up in the school. So, how do Gen Zs react to these rules, or how did they react to these rules? And do you think the rules impacted how your generation embraced or identified with natural texture? And I should have said this before. Fermi is Gen Z. I'm millennial. So Fermi, go.
Okay. So I think that schools played a big role. Uh, Maybe not for me on the long run. Because I remember in my third year of junior secondary school, I have very tough hair. I think it's even softer now, right? I had very tough hair. I had I was on low cut at the time, but I mean, I was transitioning into senior secondary school. So I wanted to start making my hair. So I was keeping it, I was grooming it. And then that particular day, because I had to, wear my beret, I had read somewhere on the internet that if you apply aloe vera, you can, soften your hair a bit. So that morning I was going to school and I had applied aloe vera. And by the time I got to school, I think my hair was soft and it was curly. And then the teacher that saw me at the gate called me to the principal's office and I was beaten.
What?
Yeah, I was beaten. And then my mom was called. They accused me of relaxing my hair and I applied relaxer before coming to school. And I'm like, this is not relaxer. My hair is soft and curly like this because I applied aloe vera. Touch the hair. I did not. There's nothing I didn't say. Oh my God. There was nothing I did not say. And I feel like if I didn't have like maybe like a mind of my own or something, that was enough for me to never. Because I'm like, it's just natural hair. It's just something I have to do to keep my natural hair and stuff like that. So schools were like they were normally naturally strict about hair, no big hairstyles, no extra stuff with your hair. Everything has to be neat, controlled. You could even barely have your hair packed to school. There were hairstyles that we had to make every week, especially if you now have big natural hair, they see it as distracting. So it has to be controlled and all that. So I think that can really affect how you see your own hair. Like I said, not me, because I'm a very stubborn person. But yeah, it can really affect how you see your hair. But I think for Gen Z, it made some people disconnect from their natural hair. For obvious reasons. For others, like me, it made me curious, like, why is my hair such a problem? Is there a way I can keep my natural hair and still find a way to make it look presentable? Is there a way that I can, made me ask a lot of questions. That's how I found out that, there's some things that you can apply to your hair that will make your hair softer, that will make your hair, just be sleek, just, so it won't look too big and distracting. It won't, things like that. So yeah, I think for others like me, it made us curious about our hair. So yeah, those rules definitely shaped, how Gen Z related to their texture from my own point of view. Yeah.
It's actually really sad that it was a teacher. I'm talking about the irony of this situation. It was a teacher that was punishing you for trying to make your hair soft. A teacher is somebody that's supposed to be open. You're teaching, you're also supposed to be open to learning and understanding. And I think it just goes to show how the notion of how you should look has affected people across levels of society. It's really sad. And for me, it's just the irony is the fact that it's a teacher that is actually not willing to understand, right?
Yeah.
And you've said something that's so profound about us being told that our hair is distracting. Like, our hair should hold space. This is who we are. This is what grows out of our head. I don't see somebody with straighter hair being told because your hair is laid, right? It's too mellow. You see what I'm saying? So why should we have to suffer for the way God created us? When I think about this question, so I'm not a Gen Z, but I think what I've noticed with Gen Zs, and I'm glad that you shared the Nigerian perspective. So at least for me, being here in the US, what I've generally seen is that some Gen Zs just try to reject this notion about hair codes and they don't support the discriminatory undertones, right? That people push when it comes to hair. So, yeah, when I think about Gen Zs, they've shifted the conversation, right? About your hair, and the need to embrace or identify with it. They've shifted that conversation. They don't feel like what makes you you should be something you use for a professional debate or something that affect your ability to earn a living. And The really beautiful thing that I've seen with Gen Zs here is that they try to focus on celebrating heritage of natural hair. There are some people that don't necessarily, as Gen Zs, rock natural hair, but I feel like there's that sense of respect and acceptance when they even see people with natural hair, which I think is amazing. So now, this question is interesting. Natural hair movement really started picking up again with millennials and Gen Z, especially around like the late 2000s. That being said, millennials are often credited with bringing natural hair back. Do you agree with this statement? And what do you feel made people start embracing their natural hair again?
What I'm going to say regarding like natural hair movement picking up again with millennials and Gen Z is I think that they did. And I have like examples, right? I think that they did. And it's not because, everything's just people say embracing natural hair or became perfect, so perfect that people now want to, make natural hair. But because people started asking questions, um, and then the internet helped a lot. I think I started falling in love again with natural hair in the final year of my senior secondary school, right? And that was when I started my hair again because I had to cut it when the problem in school became too much about big hair, don't soften your hair, things like that. I had to cut it again. And then I started I started in the final year of my senior secondary school because I didn't want to do valedictory you have to make fine hair.
Mm.
And I think one of the reasons I didn't relax my hair at that time was because there's this lady, Game of Rose. The only thing that she does is just make very beautiful styles with natural hair. It was from her that I learned different natural remedies that you can, create to make your hair look fine, to, soften your hair, to do this and that. I saw different, very nice hairstyles on her page. Someone like Tasala. Tasala is a hairstylist in Nigeria. She's in Lagos, right? And she has very big, full natural hair. So I saw a picture once. I'm like, such long, big hair. Wow. And then I started following her. And then I saw her salon. And then I saw the very fine, fine styles. And then after that, I've also seen people who have come up, hairstylists that the only thing they make in their salon is natural hair. If you're not making natural hair, like if you're not making just your hair, no extensions, then you cannot make your hair there. And I think for people like that, they made us see the beauty of natural hair. So they made people start embracing natural hair the most. So I would say that the internet helped. Seeing people online showing their natural hair, it might not be as laid down as relaxed hair, right? But they made natural hair feel normal again. They made me, let me say me, they made me feel like, okay, you have natural hair, but natural hair is beautiful. It can be what you want it to be. It can feel normal again. So I think it helped a lot of people embrace the natural hair. It helped me embrace my natural hair. So yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. So with millennials, we definitely did not invent the natural hair movement. But you're right. I feel like the millennials revived the digital natural hair movement. And in reviving or creating a digital, not even reviving, they created the digital natural hair movement, which helped revive the natural hair movement. I remember my experience. I used to watch YouTube a lot. There were a lot of blogs that were talking about natural
Mhm.
hair ingredients, how to style it, things that I didn't grow up with. And
Mhm.
these avenues were how people with natural hair were able to spread hair care knowledge, which I feel was very vital. And when I even think about millennials, something important that they did was that they boycotted use of relaxers. And they
Mhm.
made a
Mhm. Mhm.
significant dent in relaxer sales. Like I remember I'll be doing research and you see on the news the things that you think was on the sideline, especially when it comes to black hair, They were making it a big deal. Business, like companies that sold relaxers were suffering because millennials and then eventually Gen Zs were like, no, what, like we're sticking to natural. Um, so yes, I feel like the millennials probably revive natural hair, but you can't just take credit for reviving. It's also great to have people that embrace and continue to champion it. And that's what I feel like Gen Zs are also doing. So millennials pushed for natural hair, highlighting the health benefits, pushing for the important messaging of self-acceptance and authenticity when it came to like bringing natural hair back, which I think is, I mean, we're still seeing it today. So I'm glad that we've seen that shift. It took years. You know, when I think about it, this is 2025. It's been close to 20 years that we had the natural hair movement. And it'll be interesting to see how this continues to evolve. So, you know, one thing that I actually love and I think about, as you mentioned, is how the internet played a huge role in reviving the natural hair movement. Like I said, you go on YouTube back then, on social media, and you see people who look like you rocking your natural hair, rocking their natural hair, their real hair. And I think similar to your experience, when you see somebody with your hair type and you've been told that your hair is not beautiful, but then you see somebody looking grand, right?
Mhm.
Looking bold with, you know, full hair standing up, it affects you and it starts to change how you think about natural hair. That being said, I feel like we still have some other layered issues within the natural hair community.
Mhm.
Even with our openness to natural hair, do you feel that there's a pressure to be a certain type of natural?
Yes, there's pressure. And the pressure is very real. Because it's like you're a natural and you're like, oh yeah, I'm a natural hair gay. But there's still certain type of natural that you have to be.
Mm,
Your curls have to be on point.
preach.
So people will say, oh, fussy hair is a type of natural. You have fussy. It has to be thick. So that when you do an afro, it's just and some people will say when you make so that when you do an updo, the updo will be round. Okay. So that when you make twists, the twist can bounce. That's a lot of work. You see a lot. So please. So I think yeah, there is pressure. There's pressure. There's pressure. There's another pressure of your hair has to grow fast.
Mm.
There's the pressure. There's that one. There's that one. Everybody wants their hair to grow fast. So they're like, "Ah, I want to relax fast so that my hair can grow fast. But I also want to be natural. So what should I do? There's the part of your hair is so hard. Can your hair be soft? So you're like, okay, let's invent texturizer. I don't know why there's texturizer, but there is texturizer so that you have hair, but it can look like it's relaxed hair because it's soft and then it's still going to have that there's pressure and it's very real. So when people say just be natural, there's still an unspoken standard that you're expected to meet. Yeah. So for me, I think that's it.
So, for in your experience, is there the expectation that is the expectation only towards being more 4C or actually being more of like a 3A to C? Are certain people expecting that they prefer, at least within the Nigerian context, they prefer that you are like a 3A to C?
I think it's both. It's both. And it feels like it is what I want per time. Because today I want my hair to look very curly. Like I just came back from the States,
Mm.
like a typical, like a typical natural American, how their hair is and it's just defied curls. There is that. But there is a part where I also want to foresee because I just want it to be that deep and it should look like rubber, you know. There is that part too. So I think it depends on what my mood or what the mood is at every point in time. So yeah, I think it's that. Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, I completely agree with you. I feel like what I've seen here at least in the US, man, it's very interesting. This whole natural hair thing brings out, or this whole natural hair expectation in terms of being pressured to embrace a certain type of natural. When I think about it, some of the things that also come to mind is that issue of colorism. And I say colorism in the sense that when you have people that are mixed, right? Black, but they're mixed. They have parents that are either Black and Caucasian or Black and Asian, right? Their curl pattern is usually softer. So maybe there are some of them that could have a curl pattern that is type 3, right? You barely see a lot of them with type 4 hair, but I'm sure there are some of them with type 4 hair. And when we think about aesthetics and whatnot on social media, it just seems like for a lot of people, even for a lot of brands, when I think about marketing, these are the kind of hair that they tend to push versus the type 4 hair. The type 4 hair, the only times when I see them being highlighted, shared or spread or revered is when they are straightened. And unfortunately, a lot of people don't even really know what a type 4 C, A, B, or C hair looks like in its natural state. And when they even see it in a natural state or it's shrunk, they just feel like that's not appealing. But what I've started seeing, which is amazing, is that you have people with curl patterns that are not loose, rocking their hair like that in the shrunken state, being like, I look gorgeous, so deal with it. But you're right, we're human beings, we have choice, right? We want different things at different times. But I feel like what I've observed on social media, and it's going to be different depending on the region that you're in. In my region, the looser textured is where people feel like they need to move towards. Their hair needs to be looser, natural but looser, because that's what the beauty standard is when it comes to natural hair. At least that's what it is for us. With the exception of seeing people with thicker, coarser natural hair that is stretched or in a very nice updo that is just majestic to look at. So unfortunately, that's where we are.
Yeah, that's true. Very true.
See, that ideal texture conversation is a whole episode on its own. So, coming back to our gist, do you feel Gen Zs have a different relationship with natural hair compared to millennials? And how do we see younger people relating to natural hair now?
I think that they switch things up a lot. We switch things up a lot. Today, or we have a particular style on. Tomorrow, there is something else. Another day, there's something else.
Is that the impact of the trends, like trends quickly evolving and changing?
It could be. It could be. And I mean, with all these, would I say experiments or, just switching things up, as it were, it doesn't feel like they are making a big statement, just showing off their hair, doing whatever. I mean, we see all the Gen Z influencers on the streets of Instagram just doing different things with their hair every day, especially the influencers. Every day there's just something that they're doing with their natural hair, showing you that there's so much you can do with your natural hair, literally influencing people. And it's making a big statement. Gen Z has a more relaxed relationship with their hair. I don't think they care less. I think that hair is they see hair as, and I also think there's the parts where natural hair, they have natural hair on today, tomorrow they have braids on, next tomorrow it's a wig and stuff like that. So they see hair as a part of their identity, which they hold with high esteem or in high esteem. It represents them. There's the cultural part of it, but there's also the parts where they're like, it's not weight. I'm gonna do whatever we gotta do with the hair, that kind of thing. So yeah. For me, I think that's it.
Okay, that's very interesting. So, do you feel like they're indifferent to the importance of having natural textured hair?
I don't think they are indifferent to the importance of having natural textured hair. I do not think that they are indifferent at all.
Okay. So they hold natural hair in high esteem. They just do what works for them,
Yeah.
which is empowering.
It is. It is. It is. They really love the concept of natural hair. A lot of them would never, nothing would ever make them cut their natural hair or transition into relaxed hair. But at the same time, they're like, we're Libra, but that Libra, let's do what we got to do. you know? Yeah.
I completely agree with you. And then let's shift gears a little bit. There's Gen Alpha coming up. Oh. Do you think they will even care about natural versus relaxed hair at all? Or will they just go with whatever feels right?
With Gen Alpha, I think that will be more of convenience. What will matter to them is their convenience. I don't think those people those people will care a lot. They'll probably just choose whatever feels easy and comfortable for them. With the videos that we have seen of Gen Alpha, they don't like stress. They're soft babies. So by the time they get to know about like hair and they're able to like maybe make a choice or make a decision by themselves about hair, I think they'll just choose whatever feels easy and comfortable for them at the moment. And that's okay. But I just hope in all the choosing and all the being liberal with them or they being liberal with their hair and all that, they actually understand natural hair at least, and they understand the history behind natural hair and see natural hair as part of them.
Yeah, I think that is so. Yeah, I think that's so profound. And for me, that's one of my fears. So I've been looking at a lot of content. For example, like I'm trying to scan for graphics or photos and whatnot. You have AI creating images. And one thing that has been interesting is I keep seeing AI creating images of women, Black women, most of them not with textured natural hair. I keep seeing them with like straighter hair. And I'm thinking, is this the plan to try to expose this type of images, right? Because the media is powerful. When you keep trying to highlight this kind of images, this is who people feel they're supposed to be. So I hope we don't go back to that point where it seems like there's that expectation to conform back to Eurocentric beauty standards, because that would rather be sad. As you said, your natural hair is who you are. And if certain people decide, okay, they want to do relaxed hair for convenience, that's all well and good. It would be unfortunate for people to feel like their hair is not it and their hair is not worthy. Their hair needs to be other in order for them to feel like they're valued. I hope we don't go back to that with Gen
I
Alpha.
hope so too. I do too.
Yeah.
I do too.
So let's talk about personal experience for a minute because we have shared a lot. So let's compare our lived experiences. Since we both represent different generations, as I said, I am millennial, Fermi is Gen Z. This should be fun. So, how has natural hair evolved for us as a people in different generations?
Okay. For me, my natural hair, felt like, especially because of like my experience in school at the start, it felt like something that I just needed to like tame, something I needed to control. Because like I said, I have thick hair. I had thicker hair than I even have right now. And it was a lot. Now imagine having low cuts. I had low cuts, was very short hair. And I had to wear a beret on top of the hair. Oh God, it was a lot. It was a lot of tying scarves to press the hair down so that I can wear the beret to school without being accused of trying to distract or not being orderly or well dressed in school. So there was that for me. But I think because of the media, and the acceptance of these women that I mentioned earlier, embracing natural hair and showing us what we can do with natural hair and how beautiful natural hair is. Now, or at the time till now, natural hair now feels more neutral. And I mean, sometimes I love it, sometimes I'm tired of it. Sometimes I just want to make all back and wear wig because where do I want to start from? But I mean, I've learned that both feelings are valid. Today, I love my hair. Tomorrow, I'm like, nah.
Well, let me say, for me, and I've shared my story about learning to embrace my natural hair. I grew up feeling like my natural hair was crap, right? With my parents, the sentiment that I got was your hair has to be tidy and neat. I was lucky that my mom wasn't big on relaxing hair at a young age. She made sure we kept natural hair until we were like late teens, essentially. But that being said, I had a very difficult time as a kid bracing my natural hair. The people that I was exposed to were not versed on what it took to care for your natural hair. And as a result, I suffered. Basically, I did suffer. I would go get my hair done and it was constant pulling and tugging. It felt like war getting my hair done. So the pain, the discomfort that came with my natural hair as a kid was it felt like honestly, this is not goals. Simple. As I grew older, I went to secondary school. I had to cut my hair. I just felt like, they should said we should just look neat. So natural hair is whatever. It's not that deep. I didn't even revere my hair. I didn't see it as something to be valued or excited about. My own aim was, oh, when I get to that stage where I can relax my head, be looking cute and fun. So
Yeah.
I got to my late teens. I was able to relax my hair. Interestingly, when I moved to the US and then I started college, I was blessed to have an older sister who discouraged me from relaxing my hair. During that phase, I would say like my hair was something to be covered. So I used to wear braids. I just used to wear braids, Ghana weaving. That was what I did, cornrows. My hair wasn't out. My hair did flourish. And when I saw my natural hair flourish, I was like, wow, like your hair looks nice. Unfortunately, guess what I went to go and do? I went to go and relax the hair. Damage came. After my hair got damaged, I was just like, I'm done with this thing. I didn't help myself. I was making horrible choices. But I think it was years after the natural hair movement like kicked off. Gradually, I would be watching YouTube and I'll see women with really long hair, women doing tutorials on how to care for their hair. And I'm like, this kind of hair they grew. That means does this type of hair grow? I was like, this is interesting, though. I was then trying to learn, trying to understand, but I wasn't committed. Eventually, when COVID happened, that was when I actually took the time out to learn about my hair. And I started realizing that my hair could actually grow and it deserved to be seen as something of esteem. And since then, I've just fallen madly in love with my hair. Like I'm a serious hair groupie. I'm not even going to lie. So I think for me, my evolution in hair was as a kid, I saw it as pain. As a teenager, I wanted to just, switch to relaxed hair. I was like, I'm not in people's team. I'm not team natural. And then college, it was something that I had to hide. Eventually, it was something that I decided to just maltreat. And at one point in time, before COVID, the way I saw my hair was, well, let's just, stop stressing. This hair thing is just confusing and it's not worth the hassle. And then after COVID, it became, ooh, where have you been all my life? Apparently, you've been there and I've just been ignoring you, but don't worry, I'm here for you. So that's my own evolution.
There was something I wanted to say before. And I think what you said is 100% valid because so what I wanted to say before was after I had kept the hair, even with what I saw on social media, my hair was like very tough and it was not helping because the remedies I saw on social media was just short term, was just to make it, soft. But my hair used to break comb, like it was that thick. So at a point, I had to cut it off. And then when I started again, my hairdresser was like, "Oh, you have to texturize your hair." And she bought texturizer and used on my hair. And then I'm like, okay, I thought I was still supposed to retain the curls of my natural hair. What's up? Is it relaxer you bought? She said, no, it's texturizer. I'm like, oh, no problem. Let's see how it goes. It took 1 year for the texturizer to wear off. So after that, my hair became like 100% natural. And then when I go to style another hairdresser now, she would say, your hair is hard. When she wants to comb it, she wants to comb it anyway. I'm saying, no, give me the comb by myself. Let me comb my hair. Just relax this hair now, madam. Just make the hair that I came to make. Don't tell me to relax my hair. I want to keep natural hair. I'm not sure it's a problem. If I cannot make it, let me know. Let me go somewhere else that, I'll be able to make it. I have another colleague. He's a guy. Because I have natural hair, my hair tends to get rough fast. So when I go to work, like after a week of carrying maybe cornrows, and it's like, why do you still have this hair on? Go and change your hair. And I'm like, what's your business? I the one that told me to change the hair before I changed it last week. I'm ready to change my hair. And I feel like for me, that is enough. If I'm like somebody that is always moved by what people would say, it's enough for me to say, oh, this natural hair is not. I mean, I don't like the way people are just talking about my hair. Not to concern me, I will keep my hair by myself. And so I think it came from just wanting to control the hair and make it look like what people wanted it to look like. So just not caring anymore. To just not, feeling that pressure to explain why I have natural hair, why my hair looks like this, why, I'm just doing what works for me and not what people expect from me. So yeah.
That is so profound, man. That is so profound and beautiful. And I love that for you, you have just evolved in that regard. Because the thing is this, you can't satisfy people.
Mhm.
Expectations will keep changing. And the people that keep trying to satisfy people, eventually they use Xanax. They use Xanax. So I love that for you, Fermi. So to wrap up, where do you personally hope the culture around natural hair goes in the next 10 years? What kind of messages do you hope kids with textured hair grow up hearing?
In the next 10 years, I do hope that the conversation around natural hair is easier.
Mm.
Yeah. I hope that I hope that it's devoid of, for lack of a better word, derogatory maybe terms or concepts, or I don't know. But I just hope that, kids grow up knowing that your hair doesn't need to prove anything. Your hair is you. It's a symbol of, who you are. You're allowed to, if you're allowed to choose natural hair and still be you, like it's you minus nothing if you have natural hair. And not just kids, everybody. You don't need to uh, be confined to what the society thinks that you should be, right? And I think on the society's part too, I think that the society is kind of towards, women with textured, or people with textured hair, and understand that hair is hair. It's not because you have natural hair, it's not minus 10 from who you are, or minus 20 from who you are. So, I mean, I just hope that everybody's free to make their choices regarding hair, just do what they got to do, be who they want to be, and not being forced to acquire, let me use that word, acquire something that, they want to throw their way. Yeah, I think, that's what I would just say.
Yeah, that is such an important message on embracing authenticity. And it's a phenomenal way to end the show. I was going to share stuff, but I'm not going to repeat what you are saying. So, welcome. Thank you so much, Farami. This was a beautiful conversation, honestly, and I'm so glad that Farami joined me on today's episode. I really enjoyed it. And to everyone listening, I hope this gave you something to reflect on. Whether you are Gen X, Millennial, Gen Z, or Gen still yet to come. I hope you had fun listening because we had fun discussing. Thank you for joining us on Unraveling the Knots. If you loved today's episode, please share it with a friend who needs a little push to start her natural hair journey or his natural hair journey. Don't forget to share your own story with us at utkinhair@gmail.com or even send us a DM on Instagram at UTK Podcast. One more thing. We would definitely appreciate your rating on our podcast. I'm still your host, Ganiat, and I will catch you on the next episode.